As Netflix looks to really up its Korean content, which I'm not going to complain about, my eyes have been set on what was going to be its next and newest release, and that brings me now to the new series, Black Knight. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today, folks, we're going to be reviewing the new series Black Knight, coming to Netflix May 12th. There are 6 episodes in this series. They're close to an hour each, and this is really nonstop action. But before we even talk about the action, before we even talk about the plot, let's talk about the visuals, because man, are they impressive. From beginning to the end, the visual effects will have you wowed. You can watch this on silence and have a heck of a time just by looking at the visuals alone. And then I also think what's really cool, which I'll come back and really explain all of this, is looking at this dystopian future of Seoul, Korea, which I don't know if I've ever seen before. But nonetheless, as folks, we kind of get curious about what does the future look like. I think it's really, really cool to see Seoul, Korea portrayed in this way, because typically when you talk about dystopian films or series, whatever it may be, it's typically America. You're talking about Mad Max and whatnot, but like the fact that like we're getting to see what Seoul, Korea would look like in a future, a wasteland of a future, it was really cool, and I really and thoroughly enjoyed the visuals. And beyond just the visuals of the backdrop and the set location and whatnot, just a lot of different techniques that they did with the visuals really enhanced everything. By far, the visuals is the most impressive thing of this series. But when it comes down to Korean cinema or Korean television, a couple of things for me. And I think the first thing is always the rawness, always expect things to go pedal to the metal. If it's action, you're going to get nonstop action. If it's horror, best believe it's going to get really gory. And then oddly enough, in this case, it was a little bit of action, but also balanced with some comedy, which I just wasn't expecting. So, this one really did surprise me on that note. But yes, nonetheless, the visuals are amazing. As I said, the action is definitely there, and then the comedy was this hidden surprise in all of this. But I think if I had to also describe this series, it's totally a live action manga or anime here. Like, without a doubt, when it comes to the action, a lot of exaggeration. A lot of the things that you would expect in the anime, you're just seeing a live action version of it. And if you've seen live action animes, yes, there's elements of that in this. So, expect that. But also, another really surprising thing is this urban hip hop feel to this. The music, the soundtrack, like the score, I was surprised to really see the mix of like really American urban feel to a Korean series, and I'm not mad at that at all. I actually really appreciated it. It definitely gave the series a little upbeat tempo at times where things were getting kind of deep, but yeah, the action was okay, and the story was, and I think that there's a lot on the table that they can do going forward. This absolutely sets up possibilities in the future. And with that being said, if I had also to describe this in terms of films, like mixing the films, yeah, I mean, when you talk anything dystopian, you gotta throw in Mad Max for sure. But oddly enough, a film that I'm not sure a lot of you all liked, and I don't think it should, make you deterred from watching this, is Divergent. Because in this Korean future, the new government that they established sets the 1% of humanity and population that survive into 3 districts, which we know how Divergent is. And if you were not assigned to the 3 districts, then you were considered a refugee, which those folks are outcasts. They're dangerous, and they're going to be a little bit scrappy because they're going to do whatever they can to survive. So first off, you have the legendary delivery man in 5/8. A delivery man is a person who delivers oxygen, which everybody needs to breathe, especially with the atmosphere being toxic because a comet hit Seoul, Korea, and that's how everything became what it is. So oxygen is scarce, but also because it is a very important thing for survival here, but also the other necessities in terms of what other folks need. But you have delivery man who delivers between the 3 districts, and between the 3 districts is obviously refugees looking to do what they can to get their hands on this stuff. And yeah, as I mentioned, if you were not assigned to any of the 3 districts, then you were become an outcast or a refugee. And the only way to actually get into anything is to become a delivery man, which brings us to our story of Seung-Heon, who is this super baby face of a character that you just grow to love. I mean, he literally came from nothing, and you see him working from the bottom to really becoming into his own as he looks to follow the steps of the legendary 5/8 in order and wanting to become a delivery man. Now 5/8 is absolutely revered. He's heroic, you know, and I think beyond all of the accolades, I think he's one that folks inspire to be, but also is a blueprint in terms of what success looks like, because he was once also a refugee. So, you know, I love the inspiration between the characters, and yes, we get to see sort of stories between these 2 characters and whatnot, and it's a really cool story. This is also based on the Tumic webtoon as well. So, you know, if you know the source material, then I'm sure you're very interested in checking this out. Me, I have no familiarity to it, but coming into it, again, as a consumer of Korean film and Korean television, it was a no-brainer for me. And then also, too, I just think that the trailer looks so cool that I wanted to really see what it was going to be about. So yeah, you have the technology that's very much heavily involved in terms of how people are able to survive out in the atmosphere. So that plays a part into everything. You also get to see between, you know, what's the different dynamics between the different districts, and then obviously you get to see what it's like to be a refugee. You know, times within this series, it definitely gets there's moments that gets kind of harsh, man. You know, you kind of see how ugly humanity can get. You get introduced to characters that don't stick around long for reasons, and I also think that, like, you know, this really does show a potential portrayal of what humanity looks like in the future, where we just kind of turn our backs on each other because it's truly all about survival. So, like, you know, things are going to get kind of dicey when watching this, and you will see it. But ultimately, Seung-Heon, I think that this character is a character that you instantly love, you instantly root for, but it is a rough road for this character, and you're getting a lot of different things as he trains to become a delivery man. They really put him through the ropes, man, and it's rough. It's truly rough here. But yeah, you know, check this one out, man. I think that this has a lot to offer. I think you know, if you love Korean television and film, I think, you know, it's a no-brainer. It's not as brutal as I would have expect. It's definitely lighthearted at times. It also kind of feels kind of family friendly at times, but certainly at times it definitely reminds you that when it comes down to Korean cinema, they don't hold anything back, and that's what I love, you know, the rawness in it, and this one definitely does deliver. But I also think, you know, Netflix and their partnership with the studio Westworld in 2019 plays a big part into us really going to be delivered tons and tons more content. And I also think that we're going to get this better and more just visual spectacles on our fingertips on Netflix. And I think this is just another one, again, that you can enjoy just on mute. You can just watch it on mute and be like, wow, this is cool. This is cool. But yeah, check it out, folks. It is on Netflix May 12th. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about it when you do. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon. Thank you for watching.